Hello, and welcome to the Joss Brown Podcast. With over 40 years of combined financial planning experience serving high net worth clients, we will discuss our favorite topics, concepts, and stories.
Hello, and welcome back to the Joss Brown Podcast. I'm Philip Saunders.
I'm Dan Joss.
And today we're going to be talking about risk capacity versus risk tolerance. So I went online and got some definitions from Investopedia. Investopedia said that risk capacity refers to the amount of risk an individual or organization can responsibly take on without jeopardizing their financial stability or other key objectives.
Okay.
So that's capacity. And then risk tolerance, it refers to an individual's ability to emotionally and psychologically take on, accept, and deal with the uncertainty and volatility associated with risk-taking. So I tried to dumb it down a little bit and say that risk capacity is the risk you can objectively take on, and risk tolerance is the risk you can subjectively take on. I don't know if those work, but...
That's dumbing it down?
Yeah. Well, I try to shorten the words a little bit. But yeah, basically, I guess risk capacity is more objective. And then risk tolerance is based on the individual, based on their internal...
Their psychological
desires,
profile.
Their psychological profile. Yeah.
And capacity
Past
is, can you afford to
experiences.
take the risk? If you lost all your money,
Right.
it doesn't matter if you can psychologically handle the risk.
I'd say capacity is more of a math problem.
Yeah.
And then tolerance is more of a...
Mind problem.
There you go. More of a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, so most people, when we talk risk tolerance, most people connect that to, like they should, can I handle the risk? Can I handle the down market? Nobody is concerned about up market.
Handling the... Right, yeah.
Handling the risk when the stock market goes up too quickly.
Too high.
Yeah,
Right.
Nobody calls us.
Yeah.
I can't handle this. They love it. They want more of it.
Yeah.
So the tolerance is the downside risk
Mm-hmm.
of the market.
Absolutely. Yeah, and a lot of times that's because it's tied to goals. You know, am I still going to be able to retire if the market goes down, or can I still buy a car if the market goes down, or or long-term, what have you?
Yeah, and that's interesting too, because if I'm a nervous investor and I'm watching my portfolio drop, let's say 5%. So what's that on a $2 million portfolio? $100,000. Goes down $100,000. I can connect that to things that cost $100,000. It's like, oh, I just lost that.
Yeah.
Because the market went down that much. So
Yep.
Is that risk tolerance or is that risk capacity?
That would be tolerance. That would be tolerance for sure.
Because I've connected the downs to things I could be doing with that money instead.
Mm-hmm.
But rarely when it goes up 5%, so it goes up $100,000, do people say, oh, I can get this now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that I would say that is the tolerance aspect of it, because a lot of times when your portfolio goes up or down, or let's say clients, they don't tie it to those things. They don't tie it to retirement or withdrawals or what have you. It's just the feeling of, oh no, my portfolio is down, and it's just a feeling of loss.
Yeah. One interesting thing I saw is when I had a new client 20 years ago, now 25 years ago, they were adding $50,000 to the portfolio every year as part of their retirement contribution. And back then, if they had a $250,000 portfolio, it didn't matter if the market went up or down 10%.
Right.
Because they were, if the $250,000 portfolio went down 10%, their next annual contribution was twice that amount.
Right.
But now when they have a $2.5 million portfolio,
That makes so big a difference.
that same 10% decline is $250,000. That takes 5 years of annual contributions to make up for that loss.
Yep.
So
Yep.
the amount of decline in terms of percentage is very different now with a larger portfolio than it was when they were younger, and arguably had more tolerance for risk.
Yep.
So it's interesting. So both, I would say, both tolerance and capacity are always changing over an investor's life cycle.
That's interesting. I think the maybe not common wisdom, but
Rule of
common
thumb
ideas is that tolerance would be the same. Because you think of risk takers and risk avoiders, in terms of personalities of people. But you're saying that tolerance of risk may change over a lifetime.
Yeah, I would say
You may be more tolerant of those drops when you're younger in a smaller portfolio, and then less tolerant when you grow that portfolio. It's interesting.
or I wonder if it's a combination. I wonder if it's when the risk-averse person, when they're younger, they don't, and we're talking about a married couple, they don't have as much influence, but later in life, towards retirement, that they have more influence on the decision. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But for sure, the capacity, the cost of getting that wrong is higher when you're older and later in life.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I agree with that, but I still like to think that when you're early in life, good decisions, good financial decisions, do set you up for big success or
sure.
lack thereof, failure.
Yeah, early.
But it feels different when you've accumulated all that money. Does that make any sense? Like when you have a smaller portfolio and you make a good financial decision, that's more dollars that you're able to grow over time.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's important both times.
I thought about that last week. You've heard, and because Warren Buffett's in the news lately, it's he was an early proponent of compounding, and I think Einstein said compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world.
It's the wonder of the world. Yeah.
The idea of your decisions compound too.
Exactly.
I think that's what you're alluding to.
Exactly.
Was those little decisions along the way add up to your life at the end of your life.
Exactly.
And a good decision followed by another good decision and another good decision gets you further ahead than good and bad decisions alternating.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know what those good and bad decisions are, but
till down the road later. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, my granddad would always say, you need a few different things to achieve success, and one of those is luck. So it's like you pile all these decisions together, and you've got your little formula, but then a little bit of luck in the mix. So.
Yeah, or maybe if we connect it to the safe withdrawal rate with Bill Bengen and the order of returns, how important that is. I would say
makes a big difference.
Make your mistakes early in life while your life is still young. I was going to say while your portfolio is small.
Sure.
But I'm talking life accomplishments. Make the mistakes early before they become very important or have a big impact later in life.
Down the road,
they
become costly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So we have some rules of thumb, right?
Sure. Yeah, and so I would say that if your risk capacity is greater than your risk tolerance, that can lead to poor decisions, selling early, selling when the market's down, making bad decisions financially. And then if your risk tolerance is greater than your capacity, that could lead to deficits, because that means you can't handle market downturns, or your portfolio is not set up for your cash needs.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a formula to match those two up and get it just right for each client. A few other conclusions I kind of drew from this, or one of the ones that we talk about a lot is target date funds.
Mm-hmm.
How they can be helpful for some investors, but they're not always the answer.
Yep.
Because a lot of our clients are not only investing for themselves, but for the next generation. So they don't necessarily want to decrease the risk in their portfolio. They want
as they age.
to maybe maintain or increase risk so that they can provide for that next generation.
And we've helped clients talk through all of those different scenarios. We've seen older people become more conservative, which is a rule of thumb.
Right.
And we've seen older people maintain or increase their risk in their portfolio because of the next generation or two.
Absolutely.
Because they don't need all of their portfolio to live on.
And then if they do need their portfolio to live on, the common wisdom is to decrease the risk in your portfolio prior to retirement. What do you think about that?
I think there's a window near retirement because of the order of risk or the order of returns risk, that if you're conservative at or near retirement for the first few years after retirement and then increase your risk again, that would be a reasonable approach.
Okay.
To kind of, to put away the risk of unfavorable returns near retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Although, having said that, 2001 and 2, when the markets were declining, we had clients retire every year. And in 2007 and 8, we had clients retire.
They never went back to work after.
and the portfolios that we build are such that during those times, where it took 3 or 4 years to recover, they were able to do that in retirement.
They can live off that portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had also, just because you need to take risk doesn't mean you always should. And that just has to do with if it helps you sleep better at night to have a more conservative portfolio, then that's what you ought to do.
Yeah.
So kind of know yourself, or have a financial advisor that knows you and knows your tendencies and your risk tolerance.
And keeps you on track with your strategy.
And that's the last one. Create a strategy, set an allocation, stick to it.
And then maybe review it every once in a while.
Absolutely.
To see if it still works.
Not too often. Every once in a while.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
What's that, 5 years, 10 years?
I think so.
Certainly not during high volatile markets or a recent downturn.
Absolutely.
It's like, let's talk about this next year.
Yeah. More stable, maybe. Yeah. Anything else to add?
No. This is great.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Josh Brown Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Josh Brown Podcast. If you'd like to see more episodes, visit our website at joshbrown.com.